Hi, I'm Vince Giordano, Executive Director of the New Jersey Education Association. NJEA is committed to celebrating excellence in education. That's why we're proud to support Teacher Appreciation Week, a special series produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation celebrating New Jersey's talented and dedicated teachers.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, working for great public schools for every child. Wells Fargo, the Adler Aphasia Center, PSE&G, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities. The law firm of Gibbons PC, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, making healthcare work. And by Bloomfield College, offering small classes and big opportunities since 1868. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger and NJ.com, and by NJ Biz.
This is One-on-One.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
People like laughing at others, so I don't mind if the other is me.
See, you go right into the character. That's what it is.
I'm bringing families together a half an hour each week. Man, I'm doing something special.
And so I do feel successful.
Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. It is my pleasure to introduce our very special guest. He is David Alfonse. He is an instructor of computer-aided design and directed field research at the Marine Academy of Science and Technology in beautiful Sandy Hook, New Jersey. You've been there since 1984?
1984.
By the way, real quick, what is the Marine Academy of Science and Technology?
It is, the Wikipedia definition would be, it's a part of the Monmouth County Vocational School District. It's a specialized high school. Our students come to us with a yen for marine oceanography, marine biology, marine technology, but we have a third component, and that's the NJROTC. All of our students
What the heck is that?
The Naval Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps.
Got it.
And all of our students go through that 4 years.
And by the way, you come to us through our partners at the New Jersey Education Association through a wonderful series called Classroom Close-Up. You're about to see a video that tells a story about David and his work. The interactive herbarium?
That is correct.
And I didn't want to say what it is, but that is an initiative that you've been a part of.
It is, and we were my partner and I, which is Cheryl McDonald, applied for the Frederick Hip Foundation Award.
Right.
And that's how we got the Classroom Close-Up. And herbarium that we designed was to go ahead and collect the plant species of Sandy Hook.
We're about to see that video. Classroom Close-Up is a series that airs on our station in New Jersey, our public television station, NJTV. After you see the clip, we'll come back and talk to David. It's a powerful story. And again, you cannot be at Sandy Hook and not be adversely impacted by Hurricane Sandy. That's the other part, chapter 2 of the story. Let's take a look at Classroom Close-Up, and we'll come back and talk to David.
These students from MAST, the Marine Academy of Science and Technology, are working to create an interactive herbarium, a physical and virtual collection of the plant species native to Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook also happens to be where MAST, a 4-year career academy focusing on marine sciences, technology, and engineering, is located.
So now we're taking the Saladago, the seaside goldenrod, and we're going to put it in between the special paper that we have that's used to dry out the plant, and then we can use the leaves, the flower, and the stem for identification later.
Directed field research combines the best of both worlds. We use the natural environment of Sandy Hook that you see around us, but we also have a technological twist to it. So while we're using the natural environment, we also are heavily infused the technology aspect as well.
Technology being used to create the herbarium includes an iPad specially fitted for field research and GPS devices that record the locations where plant samples are taken from. Both were purchased with funds from a grant awarded by the Frederick L. Hip Foundation for Excellence in Education.
The money has made the difference in this project, for sure, especially in the electronic components that we've been able to purchase with that money.
The end goal is for people that are coming to Sandy Hook, they'll go on the website and see a map. They'll choose what part of Sandy Hook they want to travel to, and by looking on the map, the interactive map on our website, they'll be able to see the types of plants they'll be able to see while they're there.
My heart was broken. I never realized how much I loved my school. I had moderate damage in my house. My mother-in-law had severe damage in her house in Little Lake Harbor. But it was the loss of Mast that made me feel the most inside.
With Sandy Hook's infrastructure compromised and the school damaged by flooding, the Marine Academy of Science and Technology had to be relocated.
Right now, the Marine Academy is in St. Joe's in Keyport, New Jersey.
The storm and subsequent relocation affected everyone at Mast and impacted numerous projects, including the interactive herbarium.
The actual specimens, they might have been destroyed, or if they weren't destroyed, we probably won't be able to get them back because of the mold contaminations. So we're more focused on adding all of the information on the plants we've collected into the website.
Mast plans to reopen its campus in the fall, and even though this year's seniors won't be attending classes there again, the school intends to have the 2013 graduation ceremony on Sandy Hook.
That's one of the things that's exciting me. Every year I've seen the kids graduate out on Pershing Field, and once I heard that they're going to give us that, if anything else, we're going to graduate on Pershing Field, and that's something I'm looking forward to.
It's an amazing story. By the way, I should make it clear, I think it's clear after you see that video, we're talking about Sandy Hook, New Jersey.
Yes.
Right on the coast there. I mean, it would have been powerful enough, David, if we just told the story if there were no hurricane to be talking about. The devastation, the pain, the idea that the Marine Academy of Science and Technology was devastated. It's not there. Is it coming back?
Our school is coming back. Our plans now are to return to Sandy Hook September the 1st. And we are making strides towards that, both to replace any of the infrastructure damage that happened, as well as the interior of the building.
As an educator, as part of this series that we do with the NJEA, celebrating educational excellence and innovation, a classroom close-up, how has this storm, the aftermath of the storm, the reaction of the students, and its impact on you, changed your view of teaching?
The Marine Academy is such an unusual school. I have to kind of answer it within that guise. Our school really is a family. It's a very, very unique educational experience.
A family?
It really is.
Not too strong a word?
No, it really isn't. The professionals that work there, the students that are there, and maybe it's because of being on this barrier spit peninsula of Sandy Hook. We are totally self-contained. We came together at St. Joseph's. We only lost 2 students.
I mean, St. Joseph, the relocation?
The relocation area. As far as how the actual programs and how the educators, we're resilient. We're moving forward. We're keeping, though, our eye always on the prize that we are returning to Sandy Hook. And in the meantime, everyone there, this is the seniors and the professional staff, are working towards that goal. And that's kind of what's keeping everyone together. The alumni have supported us in unbelievable fashion.
What do you think it's done for the students?
It's tested their mettle. It's tested their resolve. As an environmental school, when it met this environmental disaster, a lot of their personal projects, a lot of their personal, they're gone, or we don't know where they are. So we have students that literally have a year or more of their work that just is, they had to get back. They had to get back off the floor, and we're all with this one focused goal. We will return to Sandy Hook.
Finally, you're as committed as ever to teaching and these students.
Yes. This would definitely, if you were not an educator, if this was not your life goal, you would not have been able to survive this.
You are a credit to your profession, and your students are fortunate to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Thank
David
you.
Alfonse, we appreciate you being with us.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you joining us and celebrating educational excellence as part of our Classroom Close-Ups series with the NJEA. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you.
If you would like more information on this program, or if you'd like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Visit us online at oneonone.org or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD.
We are pleased to welcome to the show Regina Andrews-Colette, a school social worker in Belmar School District in Camden County, New Jersey, not to be confused with the other Belmar in Monmouth County.
Right.
Describe your school district.
My school district is a pre-K to 8 district with approximately 1,200 students. We have a range of ethnicities in our student, a range of learning needs, and it's a great place to be.
And you're part of our Classroom Close-Up initiative we're doing in cooperation with the New Jersey Education Association. There's something called the Village Shop we're about to see that you had a big hand in creating. Bottom line is this, before we set up the video. You've been a school social worker for a few years?
22 years.
You got into it because?
Dr. C. Everett Koop came to Pennsylvania Hospital to do grand rounds. He was retiring as the Surgeon General, and he asked us, who were all working in mental health, if we understood the dynamics of poverty. And when we started to raise our hands for each point that he was covering, he said, why are you here? You need to be in the schools doing primary intervention. And because I worked in Philadelphia, they didn't have school social workers, but I lived in New Jersey. And I said, I think he's talking to me. So I applied for certification. I got it within 3 weeks. And lo and behold, in March, in the Courier Post, there was an opening for a school social worker. I applied I called on Monday. I got the application Tuesday. Wednesday, I carried it over. I got a call Wednesday afternoon for an interview. Thursday, I interviewed. The following Friday, the superintendent offered me the position.
Rest is history. You're about to see, it is. We're going to talk about that just a little bit. Something called the Village Shop. It's a powerful video. It's only 3 minutes, but it's going to have an impact on you. And Regina's had a big part in making this happen. She saw a need. That's all I'm going to say. She saw a need in her school district, and she responded. Some people see things, and they just talk about it, and they complain. Regina responded. Let's take a look.
When you think of a village shop at a school, what may come to mind is shopping to find things that your child needs. That's one component of the village shop at Bell Oaks Upper Elementary, but there's so much more. It's also a parent learning center that includes English language learning. This helps parents whose English is their second language break down barriers and feel more comfortable with their children's school.
Period.
Thank you. The Learning Center equips parents with the skills they need to help their children.
Does everyone have this at home? You get it in the very beginning of the school year, right?
From learning about upcoming happenings in school, to checking their child's grades, to setting up an email account. There are also seminars about raising children. Today's seminar is about recognizing signs of domestic violence in the house.
We know that in a relationship, our kids, as you said, are watching us, and they are going to learn from us. We're the first and best teachers of our children.
The Village Shop is an opportunity for people to come in from our various populations to get their needs met on different levels. One of the components we have, which is a really large piece for me, is the clothing center. We have some families that live over in the motel, and the little girls are size 6 and 8. Can you all find me some things for those kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Long sleeve or whatever, something that's going to be warm.
It feels really good that we're helping all different kids, even adults, finding clothes for them because people can't afford everything, and it's just a really good feeling.
Look around because there are some empty hangers that you can reuse.
Right now, things are kind of tough in my family, so I was able to get a coat for my daughter, which I could not have afforded otherwise. The teachers here had seen when the parents were coming in the wintertime that they would be wearing sweaters, and they would notice as the colder months went on, they were still wearing sweaters, and that's when Miss Regina realized that there was a need in the community. So that's when this all started. She asked me to come and help, and I did.
I would encourage every school district to reach out to the population they serve. Think about some needs they may have, spoken or unspoken, visible or invisible. Find a way to enrich the lives of those people who really are not maximizing their potential, so that they can begin to have a dream and a goal realized.
How rewarding?
Yes.
Big time?
Big time. It's at the point now when the children are beginning to struggle academically. When you ask the parent to come in, they're coming in for the meetings. Prior to our intervention in our program, we would send letters in Spanish, whatever. We would hear nothing. Now we have the parents coming in. We have the parents actually feeling comfortable enough to come and spend time in the classroom. Even if they're reading in Spanish to the children, they are part of the community. They're definitely feeling welcome. They're feeling not isolated anymore, feeling included.
Let me ask you a question. I often think that, I know this doesn't sound very profound because I wasn't the first one who thought it, definitely not the first person to say it. We're so much a product of what we come from and where we come from. You came from South Philly.
Yes, I did.
Your mom said something to you growing up in terms of what she thought your future might be or might not be. Do you remember it?
Oh, yeah.
What'd she say to you?
My mother said to me that I probably wouldn't live to be 21 years old. Even though I went through Catholic high school, I played cello, I had goals. I thought I had goals, but when my mother said, oh, you're not going to be anything, probably a reflection of what she felt about herself, I actually did not believe that I was going to be anything until I had my 22nd birthday. And then I said, you know what, I'm still alive. She doesn't know everything, because your primary influence is your parent. And if you continue to hear things, then you can become that self-fulfilling prophecy of not having a goal. But then after that, my bulb blew up, and I said, wow, I've always helped people. I've always been that kind of person that was always involved doing something with someone. I said, I'm going to become a social worker. One of my friends had a grandparent, who was the first garbage lady I had ever seen. She would walk around with a shopping cart, and I said, why does your grandmom do that? She said, I don't know. So we went to the state hospital to see her grandmom. There was a whole ward full of people. And I said, there's got to be some explanation of how this happened. So in that back of my mind, I knew that this was something I wanted to explore. So once I turned 22 and I realized that my mother didn't know everything, this was time for me to build my life, I knew that I was going to become a psychiatric social worker. And that's what I did. I've got an associate's in mental health and a bachelor's and a master's in social work.
Finally. How rewarding is your work?
I love my work. I love my job. I do not consider my employment anything other than just the love of my life. It's a dream. I have many populations that I serve, difficult parents who maybe some of the administrators can't get along with. They come to me because I know how to reach out to them. Coming from South Philly, you can get a lot of skills.
Yeah, I agree. And we're proud to have you with us, and we're very proud of the work you do. Regina, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're good.
You going to come down South Philly?
If I can find my way, I will.
You want to come down to Belmar? Why don't you come to Belmar one time?
The real Belmar, yours.
Come on down.
You got a deal.
Okay.
All right.
Would you come down?
You're scaring me. You know I'm going to do it. Yes, you got a deal. I'm going to do it.
Did you all hear that?
All right, she's got me on camera saying, I'm going to do it. I said yes.
Okay.
Can I say goodbye to the camera?
Say goodbye to the camera.
We'll be back after this. I got to work out a deal right now to go to Belmar down in Camden County. I'll be right back.
If you would like more information on this program, or if you'd like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Visit us online at oneonone.org, or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD.
There he is, John McAllen, math teacher, Point Pleasant Borough High School. How you doing?
I'm great. It's terrific to be here.
Is this not a fact that you are the 2012 Presidential Award winner for excellence in math and science teaching?
I think it's actually 2011 because the process is about a year.
Oh, don't get technical.
Okay.
And then you went to the White House to receive the award.
I did.
It's a big deal.
It was unbelievable.
And your wife's a teacher.
She's a teacher too.
And in fact, your story, part of your story is going to be told. We're about to see a clip all about John and the work that he does, our partnership with the New Jersey Education Association. Classroom Close-Up, the great series on public television. You can see it all the time on NJTV, but you're about to see this clip about John, and we'll come back and talk about it. It's powerful video. Take a look.
I want you to look at this, and I want you to think about how center mass came into the design of Tickle Me Elmo. I try to attract as many kids who want to take AP Calc as possible, because I really feel that all the math you take in high school is leading up to this climax, if you will, of, you know, this is why you learned all that stuff, all that information for the past 6, 7, 8 years. We're going to put it all together this year. We're going to show you where it's used in real life, and we're going to turn you out into the world and hopefully get you inspired to follow ideas that you never thought were even possible.
It's in those four walls of the classroom where magic really happens. And they just open up their hearts and sing. And these voices of these high school kids who put it out there with such tenderness and expression, that's amazing. It's amazing. So that's where I find the joy in what I do.
I would like to get my kids to sing, but I think it would have a totally different sound.
You've just met John and Regina McAllen. He teaches math, she teaches music. When Regina and John met, fell in love, and got married, John wasn't a teacher. He was a successful engineer at Johnson & Johnson, with 5 biomedical device patents under his belt.
You know, you only get one trip around, and I kind of felt like I wasn't on the track I wanted to be on.
So even though more than a few friends thought he was nuts, John took the steps necessary to become eligible to teach in New Jersey through the state's alternate route teacher preparation program. Soon after, he was accepting an AP Calculus position at Point Pleasant and putting his private sector experience to use in the classroom.
You can articulate the tool with relative ease. If the mass weren't distributed right here at my fingertip, it would be difficult for me to have precision with it.
He has a passion for it. Obviously, he had an awesome job before he was a teacher, but if he left that to teach kids, I think that that's why he teaches so well, because you can just see there's such a passion there and a love for it.
John feels his successful transformation from industry achiever to educational rock star is in no small part due to the support of his colleagues. It definitely didn't hurt that he had an accomplished mentor living with him at home. As a music teacher at Howell High School, Regina McAllen's choirs have a string of first-place finishes and noteworthy performances, and the ever-growing wall of fame in her classroom speaks to the success of her students. It's also a motivational technique that John borrowed for his own classroom.
It's definitely a motivator for the kids. My numbers have grown just by doing little things like this. I feel blessed that I've had the mentorship from not only Regina, but from people inside the district and outside the district that have really helped me with my craft. I'm just thankful for all those people and the support I've gotten.
Wow, my question is, why don't we have Regina here?
She's in the green room, but
she is.
Yeah, she came up to just keep me calm.
That is powerful stuff. You left the corporate world in 1999, 2000. Mm-hmm. You left because you wanted to make a difference.
I did.
13 years later, you say to yourself, I made the right decision.
Absolutely. Every day. Well, I remember when I came in and I was interviewed for the job, and there were 5 people that year taking AP Calc, and I knew nothing about teaching. And I remember at the interview with the superintendent, assistant superintendent, I said, we want to grow the program. Do you think you can double the program in 4 years? And I'd known the population of the school from working with my wife through chaperoning events, and I knew there was enough of a student body, and I thought, you know, I may not know much about teaching, but I can definitely, through my enthusiasm and excitement for the field of engineering and science, I could get those. And now I'm up to 35 people.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we have 2 sections, and wow, and it's just great. It's such a rewarding. My career has. I was successful at engineering. I have patents from Johnson & Johnson, which my kids always love to ask me, are you paid? You must be a millionaire. You must be paid from those patents. And I'm not. And one of the lessons I tell them is, you know, when you're interviewing for a job, you know, you sign away your rights in certain things because you're inexperienced and you need to prove yourself. But I left that field, and I just feel so blessed that I'm in a field where I get up every day and I'm excited about the challenges and what we're going to be doing.
Here's my question. What's it like for the two of you, with you and Regina, and when you come home? She's a music teacher. Obviously, she had all those awards. She has those awards. She's making a difference. You're making a difference. What's that dinner conversation like?
It's about pedagogy. It's about making phone calls to parents who need to know things. It's about how you motivate how you identify a kid who needs extra help. One of the discussions we were having is about underachieving students, and how do we turn what's the motivation to change from being an underachiever to an achiever? And it's interesting how, because she teaches in the music and performance area, there are a lot of things that, like she'll poll her kids and interview her kids and ask them for suggestions. And she was telling me how much her kids know, and we just take it for granted what they know. So what do? The next day I go into class and I sit down with my students and I start asking them about underachievement and give me an idea what I can do to make you achieve more. And it's just a resource that you really can't put a value on. It's constant. For me, I don't want to say my marriage is a series of professional development hours, but it really is. It's a chance to really refine your craft.
I'm curious about this. I know that she's very proud of you. How proud are you of her?
Oh, I am so proud of what she does because she takes on not just, in her course, she has not just the most advanced kids, she has kids who have some real serious challenges, and she is able to make her classroom an environment where everyone's welcome. And I think that's important for everybody to realize, is that before you can even begin to reach the child or the student, is they have to feel safe, secure, and that they're ready to learn. And she does that with everybody she has.
Next time we'll have her on for her own segment. You think she can handle it?
I think she would love that. That would be terrific, because she does great things.
And you're at the White House with all your colleagues doing that. And I got to ask you real quick, 1 to 10? I ask every teacher who comes in.
Oh, it was a 12. Being at the White House, it's just, I know that's not mathematical.
1 to 12, 1 to 10, loving your job.
1 to 12 or 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
Oh, 20. Love my job. Love my job. I mean, the kids I get to work with.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, the Adler Aphasia Center, PSE&G, the law firm of Gibbons PC, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Bloomfield College. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.
When you work at a public school, you're a part of the community. So when Superstorm Sandy hit, the school employees jumped right in to help. The middle school here served as a refuge for people who were forced from their homes. We all pitched in to help. Custodians, cafeteria workers, teacher aides, mechanics, groundskeepers, all pitching in to help out. School employees are part of a team, whether it's to help educate our children or to recover from a terrible tragedy. That's why I'm so proud to be a member of the NJEA.